All right, good morning. It is Friday morning, July 15th. Hard to believe July is halfway over already. And this is your Friday safety morning. My name is Dennis Davis. I work in the safety department. The safety department is located in the Z building here on the main part of the campus. Ground level, so not the basement, but the ground level, right in the center of the room next to the pillars. So if you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to step to the microphone. Don't hesitate to stop by, and we'll answer any questions that you may have. And if we don't have those answers for you, we promise we can find somebody in the building, in this Prime family, that can get those questions answered for you. We do this Friday morning meeting, 52 Friday mornings a year. So for those of you that are in the terminals today, thank you so much for being with us. Those of you that are not, the good thing is right now we are broadcasting live on Facebook Live as well as on YouTube Live. So if you're ever out on the road, want to know what we said this week or the week previous or the weeks previous, you can, of course, not while you're driving, but log on to Facebook or YouTube and check out what we have to say. So we're also live at our other locations, Salt Lake City, Utah, and Pittston, Pennsylvania.
And this is your meeting. We do this meeting for you. So if you have questions, comments, please don't hesitate. I know it's kind of nerve-wracking to think, man, I don't want to ask. And maybe you have a question and you don't want to ask during the meeting. A lot of us stick around afterwards. Come up and ask us so we can get you an answer. We don't want you having a question that we can get an answer for you to. If you don't feel comfortable asking it here, get with us afterwards. Let's talk about it. We're very transparent. We want to make sure you get your questions answered.
Also this morning, we've got free breakfast. So if you haven't eaten yet this morning, jump in line, place an order. You know, it's not an easy task to feed a bunch of hungry folks in the trucking industry, but that's what our folks here in the cafeteria do for us at all of our locations. So let's give them all a round of applause at all of our locations.
I think that's kind of a bribe. If you got to listen to us for an hour, you ought to at least get free food.
That's true. That's true. So let's see who we got with us this morning. Let's go east first. Pittston, Pennsylvania. They look like they got a ton of folks up there. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Rick, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
Doing great. Happy Friday. Good to see everybody in those neon vests. That means we're brand new and ready to work, right?
We got a bunch today. They're ready to work. They're all shaking their heads yes and hooting and hollering. Yeah, they want to go to work.
That's awesome. So, hey, just real quick, what'd you order for breakfast this morning? I know those folks are working hard to take care of you guys.
I had breakfast, yes.
Right on. Dynamite drop in, Rick. Tell us what's going on. Tell us what's going on in Pittston.
You know, it's been a great week this week. A bunch of great folks in orientation and, excuse me, a bunch of new PSDs, TNTs. Like I said before, they're ready to go to work. And they asked me, hey, how long does this thing last so I can get down to the pad and start working? So let's get it going.
All right. So if you guys are anything like us, this week is like 115 degrees every single day. So those folks that are out there working on the pad, those new PSDs, make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure you stay cool. If you get to the point where you're not feeling well, please just take a break, get inside the air conditioning, and once you start feeling good again, get back at it. So we appreciate everything you guys do up in Pittston. We've got an event coming up on Monday night in Pittston, right?
We do a Million Mile dinner, yes. We got, I think, a half a dozen, 15 drivers that we're going to give the Million Mile plaques to. I think we even have a 3 or 4 million mile plaque we're going to be giving out. So, yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome. So, you know, thanks, Rick. Appreciate everything you do. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, jump on the microphone.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, appreciate it. When we talk about growth, you know, we always have an annual Million Mile dinner where we celebrate our drivers that have achieved this milestone of 1 million safe driving miles. We've gotten so big that we've started to have to branch out where we do one in Pittston, one in Springfield, and soon there'll probably be one in Salt Lake City as well.
That's a pretty good problem to have. And then
That's a good problem to have.
you've got
If
so
you-
many million-mile drivers, you can't fit them all at one location.
And not only that, if you look around the building, we can't fit them all on one wall.
Running out of wall space.
Running out of wall space. We had to build a new building, Steve, to fit these plaques, right? There you go. There you go. All right, let's see what we got going on out west. They always live. You're always excited. Bright and early in the morning, Salt Lake City. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning from Salt Lake City. How are you, sir?
Troy, I am doing fantastic. You guys sound like you are awake and ready to go as usual.
We are. You know, it's the good clean air out in Salt Lake City. We wake up and we get to work real fast. We've got a bunch of students out here. We got trifectas going crazy. Every week we're passing students, getting them ready to be real truck drivers.
That is so awesome. Is it 100 degrees out there too?
Yeah, it's been hot. We've been around 100 every single day. It hasn't rained since March, I think. So yeah, it's pretty nice out here.
So you guys have just kind of got the gauntlet of things going on. There's a drought, there's a heat wave, and then just the other day, you just guys kind of had a nice little windstorm where we had to shut down the terminal to incoming and to outgoing traffic, right?
Yeah, we did that yesterday. Actually, it was it's just one of those things, man. We don't want our drivers leaving here, get blown over on the side of the road. It's just safety first.
So good deal, good deal. We appreciate you guys stepping up and making that tough decision. But it's much needed, and that judgment is always correct. We know we're going to err on the side of caution.
When it comes to trucking, we'll take this heat more than that snow, though. So as many days we can get to this heat, at least we don't have any snow up there.
Well, we need snow out here. We used to have the Great Salt Lake. Now it's called the Great Salt Pond out here. So we need snow in the wintertime out here for sure.
This from the guy that sits at a desk all day, right?
I got to drive to get here.
Hey, I have to drive to work every day.
Oh, not you. I'm talking about this guy next to me.
Oh, okay. I get you.
But the Great Salt Lake is turning into the Great Salt Pond, and if it keeps up, it'll just be the great pile of salt. But these things have a tendency of even themselves out. So let's just be careful what we wish for. All right, and just be grateful for what we have. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, so just real quick, anything new going on out in Salt Lake City?
No, just not, we don't have constructions going on here because we are, complete and beautiful out here. We don't need to have to fix something every week like they do in Pittston. So we're perfect.
Wow. Okay. So, you guys are pretty solid, and a little bit later on in the meeting, we're going to come back to you because you got one of our perfect friends that have come out to relocate there. Tyler Patrick, we'll hear from him a little bit later on in the meeting. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to drop on the microphone.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Hey,
Right back here in Springfield, Missouri.
That's a shot taken across the bow.
Good morning, Springfield, Missouri. Those folks out in Salt Lake City, they think they're louder than we are, but they're not.
You guys remember when NFL was shut down for COVID and they piped all the sounds in so you thought people were there? That's what they do out there.
But that's okay. So, hey, welcome back. We're glad all of you are here with us today. This morning, I'm not standing up here by myself. I've got my fellow safety supervisor, Mr. Bill Sprague, with us. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, sir.
Good. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm real good. I mean, it's a blessing every week when I get to do this because I love seeing our drivers out here, the looks on their faces, how excited these students are to be here. It's a wonderful company and a good time.
All right, excellent. So I'll tell you guys a little secret about Bill. So typically you'll see Steve Field and Dave White up here, and whenever there's an opportunity, I'll steal the microphone. They like to keep it away from me because I like to talk. But Bill claims that he doesn't like being up here. But man, you get that mic in his hand, he's tough to get it away from him. So, but
I'm trying to hurry up and get it over with.
Not to mention that right before the meeting, he always goes in the bathroom, throws up because the the folks here live, plus the 2 million people watching live, not to make you nervous or anything
I
like
thought that
that.
was normal. I thought everybody did that.
Nope, not us. So, hey, so just real quick, we want to make sure we acknowledge some special folks that are here with us today, and those are our PSD students. You heard Troy and Rick talk about the new students coming in, and we are so happy and grateful to have you guys coming into the Prime family. So at all three of our locations, if you're new to Prime, no matter what C class you are, stand up and let us recognize you this morning. You guys have picked an awesome trucking company. I may be a little bit biased because I've been working here for almost half my life now, but I think you've made the right decision. By no means are we perfect, and we don't proclaim to be. And that's one of the reasons we have, safety meetings like this, for us to be 100% transparent. If you have questions, comments, something that's not going right, we got a lot of the leadership of the company that are right here with us this morning. Pull somebody to the side, tell them what's going on, and let's hope that we can get it fixed expeditiously. Right, Bill?
We'll do it. We'll do what we can to help them out. So you want to go through some safety numbers? You ready for that?
Let's do it real quick. Go ahead.
Let's start off with some inspections. Every week we report these inspections. Why are these inspections so important to us? Because that's what makes up our report card, right? As a carrier and as a driver, CSA points are very important to you, because when customers are looking at who they want to give their freight to, they're going to compare us to other carriers using these inspection numbers. Last week, we had 116 inspections and 81 of those clean for a 70% clean rate. Give yourselves a round of applause. Now, why is that number 70% back in school? You're like, that's just average, right? Well, think about the nationwide average for carriers is around 35%. So we're twice that. So Prime's twice as good as anybody else. But anyway, the important part of these inspections is, if we wanted to dwell on the part that they had 35 failed inspections with something wrong with them, 35 in a week. How many miles we run last week, Steve? Probably 17 million. 17 million miles. We had 35 violations. That's the kind of company that you've chosen to work for. Okay. And it's only because of drivers like you doing the right thing, looking the equipment over. Now, I know we had some issues this week with bypassing scales. It sounds hard to do until you get out there and you realize you get stuck in the left lane, maybe passing a truck that's running 1 mile an hour slower than you, or the sign's conflicting. Maybe it says all trucks must stop, but you get a conflicting in-cab signal. We're always going to tell you, err on the side of caution. We get this violation too much, and that drives that score high. We don't want that score high. We want it as low as, it's like golf. We want it as low as we can get it. But we got to be doing the right thing. Make sure you're getting that atlas out and know where those scales are. Look at that little red dot. That's a permanent scale. When you're doing your trip planning, jot that down. Put it on a post note. Remind yourself. For one, I want you to stop at a truck stop. Take a 30-minute break. Look that equipment over. Anything can happen in transit, right? A light can go out. Anything. But not only that, you're going to know what's coming up. You're going to be ready for it. You're going to be expecting it. And always, like I said, err on the side of caution. Pull in. We've got great equipment. We're not scared to pull through a scale. If nothing else, you're going to get paid for a clean inspection. Your time is valuable. You get an inspection with no violations, what am I trying to say?
You get an inspection.
Lease operator, thank you. Lease operator gets $100. Company driver gets $25. We want to pay you for your time. Last week, Prime paid out $7,825 in clean inspections. We want to pay that money out, because when we pay that clean inspection, that means we've got an inspection with no violations, and that helps our score. So thank you for what you do in that area, and keep working that 70% higher. We want to do the best we can. We want it to be 100%. It's not likely, but we want to try to be perfect. We may not be, but we're going to work every day to get there.
So how many people got inspected this week? So our experienced drivers, anybody out there get inspected this week? So this week was actually the CVSA Safe Driving Week, with their focus was on speed. So essentially they were looking for you this past week. So next week when we report the inspection numbers, it'll be interesting to see if we've got an increase from that 116. I think we had 132 last week. So next week, let's see exactly how many inspections we got. I imagine during those weeks, we do see about a 15% bump in the frequency of inspections, but we also see a big bump in clean inspections. So let those $100 adjustments start rolling in. And just a quick note, the next CVSA campaign is going to be August 21st through the 27th, where they'll be doing brake safety checks. So just
And
keep
wear
that
your
in mind.
seatbelts. That was another violation that hit this week. You've now chosen a profession. You don't get the option whether or not to wear a seatbelt. There's a reason they're fluorescent. We want officers to be able to see it because we want you to wear it. You have to be wearing it. This equipment is designed way better than you think. When it comes to serious accidents, we've seen the cab of trucks sheared completely off and driver walk away and call us about it because they had their seatbelt on. These trucks are designed to keep you safe, but you got to do your part, wear that seatbelt. Why are they fluorescent orange? Have you ever seen one of these officers on an overpass with binoculars? Are they bird watching? Nope. They're looking for seatbelts, and they're looking for commercial vehicle operators without their seatbelt on. So when you see them up there, that's what they're looking for. That's why they're bright orange. We want them to see it. For years, we had issues where you'd have a gray seatbelt, gray T-shirt on. All of a sudden, they pull you over because it's questionable. Now, don't go out and buy a bunch of fluorescent orange T-shirts. Okay, we want them to be able to see it. We have drivers tell us, well, they're uncomfortable. I get it. You drive a lot of hours a day. Get one of those comfort sleeves that go on them that are soft, cushy. That way you don't have that abrasion across you because you've got to wear it. It's to keep you safe first and foremost. Yes, it's the law, but most importantly, it's so you go home safe every night.
You know, Bill did some research this week and just kind of compared last year's accident numbers to this year's accident numbers for a specific period. I think he pulled June 1st through July 10th, 2021 versus 2022. And when we talk about, you know, Steve and Bill came up with that 17 million miles that we drove in a week, you know, and multiply that by 4 or 6 for the, you know, 4 week or 6 week, you know, total. How many lane changes is that? How many merges onto interstates? You know, how many times that someone's going to cut in front of you during that 17 million miles? It's a ton. It's a ton. And typically, in the last couple of weeks, we really haven't had to talk about a lot of serious DOT recordable accidents. Bill, you want to go through the numbers?
Okay, so last year, 2021, June 1st to July 10th, I'm going to talk about DOT recordables. Now, DOT recordable means that a police report was involved. Somebody was either towed, somebody was either got a ticket, or somebody was injured and was transported from the scene, or there was fatality. So these are our most serious accidents. Last year in that time frame, we had a total of 60 across the board. 19 of those were deemed preventable, something we could have done to prevent them. This year, same time frame. Now, I better hear a big round of applause for the operators at this company after these numbers. This year, 30 down from 60, and 6 preventable compared to 19. Give yourselves a round of applause. That's you guys. We didn't do that. Like he pointed out before, I sat behind a desk. So I didn't do that. That was our operators being safe. The traffic ain't down. I mean, look at what the people are still going on vacation. Yeah, gas prices are high. They're still out there. You've seen it. Traffic's back up. People are back out going. They've done this in probably the busiest time of the year for everybody being, not only that, look at all the construction that's going on this time of year in that 6 week time frame. You guys know it. You don't drive more than an hour without running into construction somewhere. So those pose a lot of risky times for our drivers. Like he said, lane changes, merging, all that stuff. And they've been able to reduce those numbers in half with that same condition. So good work.
And we all don't do it by ourselves. You know, our drivers are doing the driving, but it's also those fleet managers that are giving the coaching and monitoring, you know, anytime there is a situation so that we can learn from it. And if there is someone that maybe has some challenges and they need some additional resources, some coaching, our fleet managers are doing a fabulous job of getting you routed into all of our terminals, Pittston, Salt Lake, and Springfield, and our examiners at each of those locations are doing a fantastic job of getting some evaluations done and getting some coaching done during those evaluations. And especially our drivers are buying into the coaching that they're receiving and making those necessary changes that you know, produces that 6.
They do the hard work. We just sit and count the numbers.
Man, we're tracking over 9,000 drivers, and we're talking about 6.
And what, from the numbers we just gave, that was over 100 million miles.
That's crazy. 6. I cannot believe it. But give yourselves another round of applause.
If that jinxed us. In safety, we try not to talk about numbers too much, because if they're really good and it jinxes us, we all look at each other and go, that's what we get for saying something.
Hey, you know, but we've been saying that for the last couple of weeks. I hope we don't jinx ourselves. Hope we don't jinx ourselves. You know, but the numbers don't lie. So, hey, We got a really exciting meeting for you today. Me and Bill have rambled on about safety, which is our highest calling, and that's okay. But we've got some guests with us today. But first, we want to go back out to Salt Lake City. We've got one of my favorite Prime associates, Tyler Patrick. Tyler Patrick was my favorite road assist advisor back in the old days when I was a fleet manager. We've traveled together. We used to handle that business out in Reed City, Michigan, and had some great times out there. But you know, he ditched me and he's moved on to bigger and better things. So good morning, Tyler. How you doing?
Doing great, Dennis. Doing great. Troy wanted me to reiterate better things out here in Utah. So no, guys, we've got a great facility out here. Like Troy said, we're up and running completely. So we're looking for people to come hang out with us out here. I don't know. I think we talked about the heat a little bit earlier in the meeting. Did you guys mention that already a little bit? So the heat's been a big thing out here. It's been a big deal kind of across the country. And so one of the things from my maintenance background is how these increased temperatures across the country are really going to start having their effects on the equipment. They're going to start having the effects on the drivers. So we want to take a minute real quick and kind of talk about some of the things associated with that. I do want to take a minute, though, to just talk about, a little bit what Dennis said. I've been here for about 12 years now with Prime. Started out in the truck shop working on trucks. Then moved over to our road assist department where me and Dennis got really close and got to know each other over a bunch of years. And then recently, just late last year, came out here to help out with the shops in Utah. So we've come a long way. Just to talk about the shops, we've got some great availability out here right now. If you're looking to get your truck fixed, you need to get some work done, some preventative maintenance, we've got appointments as soon as Saturday afternoon. So if you guys are needing some work done, from Saturday on, we're pretty much wide open. So don't hesitate to get with your fleet manager, get with Road Assist. They can get with us, set you up with an appointment, whatever you guys are needing to do. Our body shops out here, we got Cody Atterbury back there, able to help with decals, small body repairs. If you have something you need to get done, we can go ahead and order parts for you and then kind of coordinate that out to get it done as most efficiently as we possibly can. The other thing, back to the heat though. So with the heat coming in, the biggest cause here is tires, right? So whenever you introduce heat, the interstates start to get heating up, the tires start to heat up, and that's when we start having blowouts and things like that. So just a reminder, guys, make sure your tire pressures are correct. We typically run 110 on the steers, 100 on the drives, and 100 PSI on the trailers. So when you're doing your pre-trip inspections, make sure we're checking our tire pressures. We're going through, relying on the tire pressure monitoring system, checking the trailer tires, making sure everything's good there. You're not missing any chunks. Don't ever hesitate to take pictures of a tire and send in to Road Assist with the Prime app. Just to cover your own hind end, you can just say, hey, I would like to take a look at these. Tell me if I'm okay to roll or not. We can make a decision whether we need to go ahead and roll, we need to work towards a shop, or if we need to get somebody out to you to get that tire addressed right there. I also want to talk about our spare tire program. Most of our trailers, our reefer trailers especially, are going to have spare tires under them. So if you have a tire issue out on the road, make sure you're looking for that spare tire and letting Road Assist know that you do have a spare under there, and we can utilize that. The other thing that goes along with this heat is your AC and your APU, right? You want to make sure you're not idling as much, burning that excessive fuel. Temperatures right now are going up, so we're having, a lot of times the APU, one of the ways you can try and keep the truck cooled off a little bit better is to close the cab curtains, right? If you have window curtains, close those. If you're trying to block off the front of the cab from the back, make sure you close those curtains. It's going to help that APU run, keep your truck a little bit cooler for you, give you a nice place to get in and cool off if you're having to unload a trailer, flatbed, you're tarping, things like that. Make sure you got a nice cool place to go rest and cool off a little bit. Kind of back to that pre-trip though, there's a lot of things that go in with that. We want to make sure we're not having any oil leaks, any air leaks, things like that. When we start getting this heat, things start wearing down. Batteries are an issue too in the heat. A lot of people tend to think that the winter months are going to be whenever you have issues with your batteries. Summertime's really the killer for batteries. So if you have issues, make sure you're getting with Road Assist, shoot in a Macro 21 or a message from the Prime app. Get with those guys so we can get you fixed up. Kind of back to the safety thing. I'm going to steal this one from Dennis, but with that heat, guys, make sure you're hydrated. Keep some water, some Gatorade, some things like that, electrolytes on the truck. If you're out, tarping a load, it's going to get hot. You're going to get overheated. Make sure you've got the stuff you need to cool off. Make sure you got a nice hat. We watch these guys out on the pad every day. They're wearing these big straw hats. Man, those things are so cool, but I know they work great. They keep the sun out of your face and kind of keep you cooled off. So finding some shade too. If you have an opportunity to park in the shade, that's going to help the reefer stay cooler. It's going to help the truck stay cooler. It's going to help keep you cooler inside the truck as well. Back to the pre-trip kind of thing, guys. One thing I always talked about when I was in Road Assist is the more things you can put your hands on, the more things you can actually look at, the better off you're going to be. A good pre-trip and post-trip inspection of your day is going to be a key to success here. knowing your equipment's up and ready to roll whenever you are in the morning. And then whenever you go to bed at night, you want to check over it, make sure everything's good. If you had issues that arose during the day while you were traveling down the road, we can get those addressed before your clock's up and have to get back on the road the next morning. So if anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to stop me through the middle of this. Also, if not a big fan of speaking out publicly, you can shoot in a message on the Prime app or onto Facebook Live. Mitch would be more than happy to shoot those over the stream here so we can answer those for you. Or if you're out on the road and have some questions, don't hesitate to put those through. But shop availability is a big thing. I know Springfield's kind of getting covered up with work. I think Pittston's got some great availability. So don't hesitate to reach out to your road assist, like I said, and look at some other opportunities to get your work done. If the shop that you're currently at is maybe a little bit backed up, we can try and reduce that downtime by maybe trying to work in through one of our other facilities, one of our other shops, or maybe an outside vendor even, to get you up and rolling as quickly as possible. So real quick, does anybody got any questions? Okay. All right. Well, guys, again, the heat's a big deal. Make sure you're staying cooled off. Make sure you're doing what you can to keep your trucks up and running. Anything we can do with the Salt Lake City shop, by all means, don't hesitate to ask. Reach out to us. We're here 24/7. We've got an express bay and an assessment bay. So if you have issues with your truck, you want to get them checked out, swing through our assessment bay. That's running Sunday or 7 days a week. Usually they start that off at about 6 a.m., cut it off at about 6 p.m. So don't hesitate to run through there. We have an express bay. So if you're just coming through needing oil changes, some simple filters, things like that, that's first come, first serve as well. We run that Monday through Friday, 7 to 5. So don't hesitate to drop in and get that thing addressed for you. But yeah, thanks you guys for having me back up here.
Hey, Tyler, this is Dennis.
What you
You're
got,
so
Dennis?
humble. So humble. Hey, give us a quick word about the pro maintenance class.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So one of my favorite things to talk about, I don't know how I forgot, pro maintenance class. So pro maintenance is a great program for new drivers coming in, for old drivers just want a little bit of a refresher. We've gone through and we've made a program to get you guys hands-on with some repairs that you can do out on the road to help save you guys some money. So if you're interested in taking the pro maintenance class, talk to your fleet manager, talk to your road assist person. This class is really cool. We talk about the financial benefits of doing these repairs yourself. We talk about how much savings you can actually get and the reduction of downtime. So as you guys all know, if you're not rolling, you're not making money. So the quicker we can get these things done, a lot of times that's not going to be by a shop. If you can invest a little bit of money in some tools, invest a little bit of time, you're going to save yourself a lot of money. So reach out to Road Assist, reach out to your fleet manager. They're starting it out in Pittston. They've got it in Springfield, and we're working on getting it out here in Salt Lake. So by all means, reach out. They teach it probably Tuesdays and Thursdays, if I remember correctly. Starts about 8 o'clock in the morning, runs till about 11. Some great information. We've got some great testimonies on that, some great feedback from our drivers. It's been a great program, and we continue to work on it and improve it as we can. So I would encourage anybody to check out that pro maintenance program.
Awesome, Tyler. Thank you. One of the cool things about working here at Prime is that we're surrounded by so many talented folks, and Tyler is one of those folks. He's so knowledgeable, and he's always willing to help anybody out. And even a young fleet manager that didn't know anything about maintenance, he was always ready to step in and help me out. So we appreciate you, Tyler. Look forward to having you back here in a few weeks. So we're going to shift gears a little bit, and we talk about how busy truck drivers are. We talked about that 16 or 17 million miles just, in the last couple of weeks. But there's one group of folks that are busier than truck drivers. Anybody know who that is? No, dispatchers, they're not that busy. Thieves. Thieves are very busy, and, so let's bring up one of our old friends and constant speaker at the Friday morning meeting, Sam Messick. He's not going to talk about fuel specifically. He's going to talk a little bit about fraud and what you can do to protect yourself. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dennis. So just going to give a quick update on some things that we're doing as it relates to fuel fraud to really protect the fleet, protect you as an individual operator. So starting on Monday morning at 8 a.m. our time, we are going to roll out the ComData Fuel Proximity Program. And really what that means to you is that once we have this program rolled out, no one should be able to use your fuel card for any type of transaction unless the transaction is actually a legitimate transaction, right? So your fuel card won't be able to be used for fraud, essentially, is the bottom line. So we do that by basically making sure that your truck is at the location where the transaction is occurring on your card. So if somebody pulls into the Pilot in Amarillo and you're in Reed City, Michigan, the transaction won't work, right? So it absolutely should eliminate all fuel fraud within our network. We've been testing it for several months. We've had a lot of good success with it. We're confident that it's going to work, and it should protect you 100% as an operator. So, you know, fuel fraud today is a really, really hot topic. And I mean, it's an expensive line item for a lot of companies and for a lot of operators right now. But Prime's commitment to you is that there will be no fuel fraud when on your fuel card when you're here at Prime. So we guarantee that as part of this program, no fuel fraud on your card. So I just wanted to make you all aware that we were rolling that program out. You shouldn't notice it. It happens in the background. It's there to protect you. It's just included as part of the package for being an operator at Prime. So it should have no impact on your day-to-day operations. It obviously should impact the day-to-day operations of thieves that are trying to steal your information and go fuel fraudulently on your card. But if on Monday morning when we go live with this, really what I wanted to mention to everybody is please give us feedback if you notice anything odd that is kind of out of the ordinary whenever you're trying to fuel or get a cash advance on your card or anything over the next several days or several weeks. We really need feedback. If there is something that goes wrong, obviously we want to get it resolved quickly, but we're confident that it's going to work. Hopefully it'll add a continued value to you as an operator, and hopefully just go a little bit further in trying to put some of these thieves out of business and actually put them in a real job. But hopefully we'll protect you. And that's really all that I had. We're just looking for feedback. Please call the fuel desk if you notice anything fuel transaction wise after Monday that seems odd to you, and we'll work on trying to get it fixed and make sure everything's running smoothly.
All right. Thanks. Anybody have any questions for Sam? All right. You got off easy today. Thanks a lot, Sam. So we're going to stay with the theme that thieves are really busy. You know, Sam talked about them trying to steal your money. Now, our Director of Corporate Security, Bill, is going to talk about them trying to steal your equipment.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. So over the past several months, we've talked about securing equipment across the United States. And earlier this year, we had one of our drivers take a piece of equipment down in the Miami area, drop it at a carrier dealership down there. When he's down there, he can't get quite into the yard. It's kind of blocked off, kind of busy down there. So he walks in, tells the people inside, hey, I can't make the turn because I don't want to damage the equipment or anything else parked there. So they say, hey, park it across the street. So he does what he's told to do. And he did a really, really good job by not taking the equipment and possibly damaging it. But the one thing he didn't do was bother to call somebody and tell them that they had dropped the equipment across the street from the carrier dealership. So in essence, this piece of equipment then sat across the street, and then somebody came in, snagged it up, and stole it. That trailer right there was worth about $100,000. So what I'm saying is, if you have to drop equipment in an unsecured location, please make sure you notify your dispatch, road assist, or somebody so we can keep eyes on the equipment until we get it properly recovered and secured. Rich, you got those pictures for me, please? So the second thing that happened here over the last week was we had one of our drivers going up to the Philadelphia area to make a shipment, I believe it was a meat shipment, up to one of our receivers. And he parked in line. It was at night, and he wanted to get a little sleep. So he goes in the bunk, gets a little sleep. He's got a lock on the trailer. Next picture, please. But while he's sleeping, somebody decides to come in and cut the lock off the back of the trailer. Now, this lock was not an alloy lock, which we highly recommend you utilize. As you can see, this lock is a master lock, which is very easily cut off with a pair of bolt cutters. The alloy will not be able to be cut off with bolt cutters. You have to get a grinder out there, it takes a lot more noise and so forth, but they were able to get into the trailer and steal 194 cases of meat while he slept. Now, I will tell you right now that 194 cases of meat in the past might not have been worth a lot, but in today's market, that's probably a couple $100,000. Now, I believe you guys as lease operators have to pay what? $500 for the first deductible? If you get something stolen out of the back? If I was you, an alloy lock's gonna cost you $50 in the company store. 1/10 of what your deductible is. I would rather pay that $50 and have a good lock on the back of my trailer than to go out to Walmart and buy a master lock, which we know can be cut off really quickly, and then pay $500 on the backside. The investment's just not worth it. I mean, it's much smarter to pay that extra $50 as to pay the $25 to get the lock cut off, because it costs you $500 on the other side of it. So guys, our meat loads that we're hauling right now and all of our vegetables and everything we're hauling right now is worth so much more money. But meat loads right now, think about it. I can go steal a case of steaks out of the back of your truck and I can sell them like that. All I gotta do is go buy me a little pickup truck, put a refrigerator on the backside, drive through neighborhoods and sell it that way. Nobody's gonna know the difference. There's no serial numbers on these steaks. Never seen one on a steak. So guys, what I'm saying is we have to make sure we're doing everything we can to secure our loads. Flatbeds the same way, tankers the same way, everything has to be secured. The thieves are working around the clock right now. The economy's hard, but when the economy gets harder, they work even harder to get their money. So, anybody got any questions?
Hey, I got a quick question. So in that situation, of course, we want to make sure we have an alloy lock on, but what are some other things that operators can do? In our notes, it may have, overnight parking, it may not, but you get there and you kind of get this feeling that maybe in the most secure place. Are there certain things that drivers can do, the way they can park or anything like that to protect themselves from a situation like that?
Yeah, so if you're in line of a bunch of trucks and you're in a place that's not quite, go up and knock on the door in front of you and tell the guy you're going to back right up to his bumper. So the next party can't get into it and have the people behind you back up to your bumper. If you can protect your back doors, thieves aren't going to be able to get into it. Now, it sucks if you're the last guy in line, but you know what I'm saying? Or you can disconnect your cab, put it behind the back of your trailer if you got an opportunity to do that. There's different ways we can do it to protect the back of the trailer, because thieves, for the most part, look, they're going to go through the back doors. We all know that if you had a sawzall, whatever, you maybe could cut through the side doors, through sidewalls, a lot more difficult climbing up inside the trailer, everything. So they're going to take the path of least resistance, and that's the back doors. So we have to make sure we layer ourselves to protect ourselves.
All right. Any other questions for Bill? All right. Hey, Bill, thanks a lot. All right, so we're gonna get to some fun stuff here at the meeting. We've talked a little bit about safety, and of course, we talk about the safety of your money and your equipment, which is extremely important. But we got some special guests with us here today, and every once in a while, we like to bring some customers in, and they like to show off this fabulous facility that we have here in Springfield, Missouri. So I'm gonna ask Keith McCoy to come on up and introduce some of the guests that we have with us here, and with them, we're gonna ask our. Are you gonna keep sitting there? You want to come up here. Come on up here. He can't resist having a microphone in his hand.
Come on up here, y'all. We'll let them introduce themselves to you. They're guests of ours, partners of ours for 25 or more years.
Easily.
This is a great relationship we've had with these folks. So I'll let them kind of introduce themselves, what they do, and go from there. It's better if you hear it from them than from me.
Thanks, Keith. Todd Scott, I have the transportation group for Smithfield Foods.
Eric Hoffold, I'm the Director of Strategic Sourcing for Transportation and Warehousing.
Good morning. I'm Randy Haynes. I'm the Chief Procurement Officer and Senior VP of Supply Chain for Smithfield. So I have all of procurement, all of transportation, all of distribution for all of our packaged meats and fresh meat business. And I wanted to say a few things to you guys this morning. And first and foremost, Robert, Steve, Keith, thank you for the hospitality. It's been a great day that we've been here yesterday and today. And secondly, on top of that, the culture that's here is incredible. And what you guys have built at Prime is second to none, and it's something to be proud of for each and every one of you guys to be a part of this family. We have a small fleet at Smithfield. We'll have about 100 trucks and drivers, and it's something for me to strive for to have at Smithfield is what you guys have here. So something to be really proud of. I think give everybody a round of applause for what you guys have here. So when you think about what Smithfield does, right? We raise hogs. We raise 16 million hogs a year. We process 31 million hogs a year. We produce about 6 billion pounds of meat that keeps this country going and fed. But throughout all of that, trucking is a huge aspect of producing the meat, getting it to our distribution centers, and ultimately getting it on the plates for your families. And without you guys, we couldn't make that happen. We travel about 3.3 million miles a week. Half of that's internal shipments, where we're shipping from a hog, where we're processing the hogs, and then putting that meat as a raw material into our processing plants. Prime does 20% of that for us. You guys are critical to our supply chain. You're critical to the country, and we can't thank you guys enough for what you do. You should be proud of it. We're proud of you guys. And you know, I got put into this role on transportation and warehousing back in February, and I can tell you, you guys have not been a problem of mine, and so I thank each and every one of you guys for making my life easier, because we have plenty of issues that we have to deal with on a daily basis. Prime hasn't come up since I've been here, so thank you for that. The service has been tremendous. Again, something to be very proud of. So thank you guys for everything that you guys do. You make our lives easy.
Thank you.
So last night, I had the pleasure of meeting a couple of you guys, Shaney, BJ. We spent some time last night. One of the things that we like to do is listen. And we like to hear what's really going on at the ground level. Todd, Eric, and I, you know, we have the pleasure of sitting in a nice office and doing our jobs, but we like to get out and do these things, and we like to hear what's going on and not make assumptions. And so, you know, we listened last night, and there's some basic things that we can do to be better. And what Todd has done over the last 28 years that he's been at Smithfield is strive to be a shipper of choice. And we really take pride in that. And I think Steve and Keith and Robert can attest to that. We live up to what we say we're going to do. And so, you know, since I have distribution as well, you know, I have some influence as to what it's like to be a driver at our facilities. And we've been working hard to make some changes, make it more enjoyable to show up to our facilities, and just know that we are working on it. You know, Smithfield's kind of like the Titanic. It doesn't move on a dime, but we are working to make some changes. And if there's any feedback that you guys can funnel up through your management team, get to us, let us know. If we don't know, we can't do anything about it. So driver amenities, on-time departures, things along those lines, we're working hard to improve that, to make your guys' lives easier. And so you guys want to haul for us and not show up one time, horrible experience, never want to haul for us again. We need the meat to get out of our DCs and our plants. Without you guys, we can't do it. So again, just wanted to say thank you to everybody here, everybody in Salt Lake, everybody in Pennsylvania. You guys are a critical component to Smithfield's success. And just, again, thank you. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions. If I don't have the answer, we'll find it out. We'll get it back to Keith and Steve and get it back out to you guys. But if anybody has anything, please let us know.
Randy, I want to, first of all, thank you for your business and your friendship. You know, sales is about relationships. And I think Todd over the years and Smithfield have done a terrific job listening to what we need for our driver base to make life easier. and really have worked diligently at becoming a shipper of choice. So we're extremely proud to handle your product. And we know it's not a perfect world, but it's nice to know that you will listen and try to move forward. It does take some time, but as you said very accurately, without knowing, it's tough to fix. So you all are typically in our top 3 shippers weekly. We really appreciate what you do, and you're welcome at our place anytime. And we'll come out and see you all too, just anytime you want us to.
We'd rather be in Springfield. We'd rather be in Springfield.
You like Springfield. So let's give these folks a round of applause and thank them for their business. Thank you. Okay, Bill, what's next, man? My name's Steve Wetke. I'm in sales. And I submit to you that you all are in sales as well. So are we ready to keep talking, or we got something else we've got to do
I
here?
think you know what I'm going to do now.
Okay, you go ahead.
Now, do you want to prelude into it, or you want me to?
No, go ahead.
Braun, if you'll head up. Julie, come on up here with me. You know,
Robert, you might want to come up here as well.
oh, I didn't mean to leave him out. I was
No,
kind of
no,
like
no.
to steal the show at the end.
Come on. Yeah.
Dennis preluded earlier that I don't get to do this meeting much. And yeah, I don't like speaking in public, but I tell you what I do like doing, and that's giving respect where respect is due. Now, this woman behind me, she's not going to, well, literally behind me. She's very humble. She's not going to blow her own horn, so I'm going to do it for her. We love to celebrate our women in trucking, okay? They make up this company just as much as any man does. And I'm going to tell you, if you want to look up to one that's doing it right, look up to Julie Barnett standing next to me. This woman has been with us for just over 21 years. Guess how many accidents she has in those 21 years? 0. 21 years, 0 accidents, 0 preventable anything. Not to mention she's got over 3 million safe miles. And you can tell by this wonderful shirt that she's wearing, she's represented us at the truck driving championships for the state 4 times. Is that correct? You said you didn't want to talk. That's close enough. 4 times. I looked it up. 4 times. And just in 2019, before the vid shut everything down in 2019, she took 2nd place in the entire state for 5-axle. Brought home a very large trophy to Prime. And let's see. I think other than that, I'm going to let Braun talk about you a little bit. But first of all, from me to you, from the safety department and the entire Prime to you, thank you. For one, as a safety supervisor, you make my job really easy because I don't have to talk to you, okay? So I wish I had 9,000 more of you, and then I could be out washing windows or mowing the grass. So thank you from our family to you.
Yeah, so Braun, go ahead. Share some information about Julie, would you?
I appreciate everything that you do for Prime and our customers. You make my job so easy. Anything that's asked of you, you just bow down and do it. And so I thank you for what you do for Prime and our customers. And thank you. Thank you.
So Julie, tell us this. How did we end up getting you at Prime?
You know, it's been a long time ago and I don't really remember, but I think it was because my husband had a heart attack. I'd had my leg half tore off and we had a son with Tourette's. And you guys said if it's legal, you can put it in the truck and run.
There you go. So we were like your last resort on that?
Well, nobody else would take us because of we were too much of an insurance risk. But here at Prime with the lease program, we kind of pay our own insurance. So that alleviated that problem.
Well, I'd say this, 3 million miles later, you haven't been a big risk.
No, I tried not to be, you know.
Braun, so she took everything, every load, no back talk, didn't have any scrapping. You can tell the truth here. It's all good.
It's okay.
She has not refused anything with me.
Really?
If she's able to log it, she runs it. The only time that she actually questions it is whenever she can't physically log something.
I got you. Well, that's the right thing to do. What advice would you give these young folks coming? Well, maybe they're not all young, but maybe they're just joining our company. You give them some good advice, would you please, Julie?
Pay attention to everything. You're 1 second away from killing somebody or their family or their dog or whatever. Just pay attention. And on my part, I pray a lot too, but that's not everybody's thing.
No, that's okay. Praying's a pretty good thing.
I like to pray.
Yeah, that's good. I think I've seen you in that mode a time or two.
Probably so.
So let's get the El Jefe up here. Robert, come on up here.
Thanks, Steve. Congratulations, Julie. I know Julie and I have been talking for a long time. And I'll have to say that once in a while she'll complain a little bit, but they're good complaints because that's how we get better. Julie, you're special. It's my distinct honor to present you with this envelope, which I think has got a check in it. I can't see how much, but I just hope it's significant because 3 million miles safe, no accidents, 21 years. That is one heck of an accomplishment to be very proud. And we share that pride with you. So thank you for your contribution to Prime and our success and your success. It's, again, my honor to present you with this check. She's going to get this check. I can tell.
Now, Brian, I just, Julie, congratulations. We're proud of you. Brian, I think you've been a little kind because, I mean, this girl can fly hot now. I mean, she's acting like everything's cool all the time, but you know, when she gets in some tight straits or freight just isn't looking quite right, she has no hesitancy to come up and say, what the hell's going on here? So that's a good thing, you know, like they just said, if you don't know, you can't fix it. So thank you for everything you've done for us and, you know, enjoy that money right there. Ron, thanks for everything you do. Great fleet manager. Yeah, so since I got the microphone, I guess I get to do a couple other things. You know, we feel very strongly about people that served in the armed forces for our country. You see a lot of red here. Remember, everyone deployed is what red stands for here at Prime. So I'd like to suggest that all of you that served in the armed forces would please stand up and be recognized. Please, all of you. Thank you all. Thank you all. So, yeah, we're in sales. We're all in safety. For you new folks, I think Julie said it very well. It's a very dangerous job, and you need to be ready to roll when your shift comes along. You got to be alert and ready. No distractions. It's not an easy job. It's a very dangerous job. You've chosen to do this, so you must be compliant and ready to go. We're proud of you. We're really glad that you chose our company. As said earlier, we are far from perfect, but every day we just want to get a little bit better. And you all can help us do that by sharing information with us. So please don't be hesitant to share your experiences, good or bad. The other thing that I will tell you is safety is our highest calling. We don't expect you to get behind the wheel if you're not ready to go. So all we ask is that you get secure. You call your fleet manager and let him know or her know when you can head out and what your new schedule might be. So please think of that. Safety is our highest calling, okay? We cannot move rates high enough to offset accidents. So that's all of us together here. We're a family, we're a team. By the way, we've got the best team out here. You all made a great choice, and you will help us continue to grow and give us more capacity in the marketplace so we can handle more of Smithfield's freight, right? You like it? They're a very good customer. Give them a round of applause. Robert? Yeah, I'd like to introduce the guy that started this a few years back.
A few? Really?
Yeah, a few. I mean, I'm giving you a break.
52 is more than a few, man.
Yeah. You've got some miles, don't you, brother?
I've got some miles on me.
Well,
I do. I admit it. We certainly want to thank Smithfield for the business they give us and for those very kind words. You know, it's gratifying to me personally to have a customer, a valuable customer, acknowledge our company and recognize, you know, our company culture. You know, we've got some nice buildings and that kind of thing, but, you know, it really gets to the people. where are their hearts? Do they really love and respect our drivers? And we do here. And I think that you can sense that when you walk around the building. Some of our competitors, they're afraid of their drivers. They keep them locked up, locked out. We don't do that. You can come up to anybody's desk here. It's a wide open environment. I say, showing our drivers respect is of the utmost importance. It really is very, very important. I mean, we owe you the opportunity to make a living, to make some bank, and more bank is better, right? I can tell you're not a greedy bunch, because usually, I mean, that brings the house down. I'm talking about making bank. We owe you a safe environment, a healthy environment. We have facilities here to help achieve that. And we certainly care about your health. It goes right along with safety, because only a healthy driver is a safe driver. If you're not healthy out there, you can't be safe, because something can happen. But we most importantly owe you respect. And I think that is true and has been for a long time, and shows up in our company culture. And if you don't find that to be the case, you let me know and we'll fix it. Right, Julie? We will fix it, because we don't have a place for someone around here that doesn't treat others the way they want to be treated and doesn't show respect for our drivers. So I thank you and appreciate what you do. That 20% of Smithfield's business, I think it ought to be 40 or maybe 80. What do you say? I mean, now we got an idea. There's a lot more there. So, we learned something on these businesses. So we're going to go after that. We're going to build that percentage up. You all are doing a fantastic job in spite of the heat. It's really, our numbers, even through the 4th of July and the holidays, have hung right in there. And our drivers' earnings and companies' earnings have been great. So we thank you for making that happen. Appreciate everything you do to contribute to this company. God bless each of you, and be safe out there.
Thank you. Appreciate you.